Hey, what's up, everybody? My name's Clay, and this
I'm
is Fink,
Fink.
and we're excited to be talking with you guys today. Talking about a lot of fun stuff, some crazy stuff, as we'll see. But I just want to say welcome to you, whether you are a high schooler watching for your groups, or you're middle school watching for your groups, or you just found us online. Lots of cool options here, and I'm excited about it. I know these past few weeks have been crazy. And I believe it's
crazy.
It's going to be continue
It's
to be
gotten
crazy.
so crazy. You actually did manual labor for like 10 hours at your house yesterday.
I got bored.
I'm telling you, this world is changing.
I want to know, what's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Craziest?
Craziest thing.
Oh,
you've
you
ever
can't even do that to me. You
Hey.
can say what's a crazy thing.
What's
I've
a
done.
crazy thing you've done? Because we want to keep you in good legal terms.
Man, just thank you. You know, I always did I love adventure. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I could talk about when I was middle school summer bored, we built a thing called the green machine is what we called it.
Anytime you build something as a middle school boy or high school boy and you name it, it's going to be a good time.
It's a good time. So we actually took, what was it? Legit soapbox derby wheel, soapbox derby car wheels.
Yep.
And put them on the back. They were our back end. Then I deconstructed a bicycle and took the handlebars and front tire and all that, the gooseneck on it, and then I built a box from there to the back wheels. And then it had no, you couldn't pedal it, you had no brakes, nothing.
Yeah.
And me and my buddy Craig, we would take it to the top of the hill in our neighborhood, we'd hop in it, we'd get it started, and then we'd just go.
I did this in high school.
Yeah, you did a trike.
Same thing, basically.
Yeah,
though.
kinda, but I was the originator. So yes.
What
So
are the odds there?
So just some things like that. And I could go long into that. Skateboarding, being pulled behind a 10-speed, seeing how fast we could go on
That's
a
bad
skateboard.
idea. There's a time you chose to be homeless for a week.
Well, that's a
Europe.
totally different thing, yes.
Yeah, that was
But,
pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Jumping out of a plane recently, that was kind of crazy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, part of the reason I asked you that is because
I'm
there's
wondering.
a great story in the Bible that you're actually talking about this week. That sometimes the guy is affectionately called the crazy naked deaf guy.
Yeah.
Can you give us a quick synopsis of that story?
Okay, sure. Quick synopsis. There was a time that Jesus was going across a lake towards the town of Gennesaret, is what it was called. Or Gerasenes, I think is what some people call it. And as he and his disciples were going across the lake, they landed on shore, and all of a sudden, this crazy naked guy came running towards them, all right? And when the crazy naked guy comes, and I don't remember the first guy I heard preaching it, calling it the crazy naked guy. I don't remember, but that's pretty much what they called him.
Yeah.
And, Jesus, rather than getting back in the boat and saying, guys, let's go away, he goes towards this dude.
Yeah.
And the story tells us that the guy had been isolated, that the town had chained him to the tombs. So it wasn't like he was just a crazy naked guy on the side of the beach. He was a guy that had been left in a cemetery to die. Basically, the town was saying, this guy is of no value to us anymore. He doesn't matter, so let's just chain him to a tomb until he dies.
Yeah.
But he had a demon inside of him, an evil spirit, and he would get, I don't want to call it superhuman strength, but, and he would break free and then kind of run around the tomb. So when Jesus came, he ran towards Jesus, and Jesus looked at him and said, demons, get out of him, because Jesus recognized it immediately. And the demon said, no, don't cast us into an abyss, cast us into someplace else. And Jesus was like, okay, go into those pigs over there, which I think is a crazy part of the story. Weird part of the story. So basically, Jesus says the demons can come out. They were actually called legion, which would mean like a multitude of demons, which is just weird. Let's just admit it right now that whole idea of demon possession, that's super weird. But he casts these demons into the pigs run down the side of the hill, jump in the lake, and they all die.
Yeah.
So then I wonder, well, then now where'd the demons go?
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they...
Freaks me out a little bit.
It is. Are they inside the pigs in the bottom of the ocean? Are they now moving?
Right.
I don't know. We don't know. But what we do know is that from that point on, it says this guy was dressed and in his right mind, sitting at the feet of Jesus.
Yeah.
And I could go on real quick. The townspeople come, they're like, oh, Jesus, what do we do? And Jesus is like, and then Jesus starts to leave. And this guy now wants to go with Jesus, but Jesus says, no, I want you to stay here because you can have great impact if you stay here and minister to your own town, people.
Yeah, and it's a really powerful story, and I love this story. It's crazy, it's fun, it's got a little weirdness
Twist,
to it. Right.
weird, like it's
a-
all over.
It's
like,
a crazy
it's
story.
a movie.
Oh, for
like
sure.
you could make a movie.
For sure. So let's take that and let's apply it to a student, someone in this gen's life.
Yep.
What's the warning sign you would like to give this gen about this story, especially given the season that we're in?
Wow. Can I talk about it from two different perspectives?
Yeah, absolutely.
First of all, let me talk about it from the person.
Yeah.
You know, we could joke and say crazy naked guy, but he was a real dude.
Yeah.
And he was isolated. And because he was isolated, he had an illness that hit him. Now, the illness was in spiritual warfare,
Right.
where these demons actually possessed him. But I think the application we take today is when you get isolated, bad things happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was talking to one of our law enforcement officers. He said that drug overdose in the last month is up. And it's up because people are isolated. I saw another statistic that pornography is at a worldwide 25% increase right now. And it's because people are bored. People are sitting at home and they're diving into things that normally they would say no to, but I've said this many times that when boys get bored, bad things happen. Okay, and I know there's a lot of young men listening right now, all right? And I'm not a young man anymore, okay? But I understand a young man's life, and when boys get bored, bad things can happen. And so I want to encourage you, don't allow yourself to get isolated. Don't allow yourself to hit that point of boredom. Find good, positive things to be about.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think for this guy, because he got isolated, it got worse.
Yeah.
The second aspect of application that I would say is we can't be like the townspeople who left someone for dead. We got to be more like Jesus and the disciples who saw a young man who mattered and came alongside of him. And they didn't just come alongside of him to bring healing, but they came alongside of him and said, "Now you'd be right here by my feet."
Wow.
And they kind of raised him up, and then they sent him out to make impact.
That's good.
To go make impact on the same people who had cast him away.
Yeah, which is tough.
That's tough.
Tough.
But it's what Jesus calls us to do.
Okay.
Because there's other hurting people out there too.
I think those are great warning signs. I'm going to ask you, how do we combat this in two different ways? The first way I want to ask you, how do you combat this for personal loneliness? Mm-hmm. How do you combat that personally, spiritually, all that stuff?
Sure.
When it comes to you yourself personally.
Yeah. Well, I think one in practical daily habits. That the first thing I do is I want to spend time with the Lord.
Yep.
In my connect time today, I was reading about just withdrawing and praying. That when I'm praying, I'm connecting with God. But then secondly, I would say now take that connect time and talk with others about it.
Yeah.
That
that's
it's
good.
real easy for you guys to talk to the other people in your small group. It's easy for you to talk about the other people who's the coach in your life, for you to talk about what's going on. So it's not just about a vertical relationship, but you also have to have the horizontal relationship. So that vertical relationship, obviously with God in your connect time, that horizontal is in practical relationships with others. Like I said already, whether that's a coach in your life, whether that's somebody in your small group, whether it's somebody in your family, of making sure that you're staying connected. And I know, especially this gen, you guys get this, you understand social media, you know how to do that. But it's not just social media just to be posting, but actually having community and conversation. Like actually go to your FaceTime or whatever and have some just good community conversation. I think that's one way to battle loneliness. And then there was another question you had about that. I'm sorry.
So we have that from a personal side and a spiritual side. Okay, how do we do that for other people now? We said we need to be like Jesus and the disciples, show people them. How do we do that when we can't be with people?
Yeah, well, one, I just say look for people who are isolated. If somebody comes to your mind, reach out to them. A very practical thing I did for me when I sat down in my connect time this morning, I said, God, who is it that you want me to reach out to today? I prayed that prayer. And then I just started writing names down in my journal. Of like, I'm going to reach out to this person, I'm going to reach out to this person. It's people I haven't talked to in the last week or two. And chances are they're in great shape and they're doing fine. but I don't want to have somebody's name come into my mind
Yeah.
and then me not follow up.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
That's
like,
very
just try to
practical.
think about people that you're in class with normally, or people you play ball with normally, or people you're in small groups normally. Think of every name you can think of and go, I'm going to just reach out to them.
Yeah.
Because I just want to make sure they're doing okay.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I think those, from the personal side and the outreach side, those are two as easy as they possibly be. Have a relationship with God, have that personal relationship, share it with others, then also just think about people and then reach out to those people, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just as simple as that. That makes a huge difference. So that's about all I got for today. Thank
Yeah.
you for being a part of this. Guys, we want you to know if you are feeling lonely, you matter. We want you to be a part of a group, a community, and if you need any help getting connected, feel free to contact us. We'd love to help you out. But also know this: if you are connected in community, know there are people who are feeling lonely, and you can make a difference in their lives. So let's get after that. Let's do that this week, and let's see what God can do through that. Appreciate you guys. See you guys soon.
See you this year.